Hey you guys, welcome to the Dr. Karin Show. We're starting it again. I am so excited to see you guys. It's Thanksgiving week, it's the holiday week, and I want to talk to you guys about setting boundaries with your family and setting boundaries with patterns that have been around for years that you are tired of living in, that are making you feel stressed out and dread time with family. And I want you to feel healthier and happier and more harmonized when you're with your family. So let's get you to a place where you can do that and where you and I can work on a plan and give you some tools and some real actionable tips that can help you set the boundaries with your family that are all based in love, specifically and most importantly, self-love, all right? Because self-love and self-first do not mean selfish. No. Self-love and self-first teaches other people how to love you, and it teaches you how to love other people with boundaries, and they're all completely necessary for healthy love, all right? So I want to talk to you guys first about the blog that I just wrote. It's about gratitude. You'll see it on my feed. Please go click it, you guys. It is so powerful. It took me a week to write, and it's all about how I went through this period of time between 2010 to 2014. I had my spiritual awakening in 2014, but before that, I was living through so much, and it is, even when I write it, I'm like, how the hell did I get through that? It was a dark night of my soul, and I want to share with you like some of the dark things, some of the Oh, hey, Christopher said he read about my blog and my son. Thank you. Yeah, so I had a really medically fragile son, which I'll talk about another time. But I don't know how I got through it. I know that it was only because of my spiritual team and the resilience that I had in my own soul from other stuff I'd been through. Hey, Angela. And it's looking back when I write about it now, it's like, it's so interesting to me that the way I can even summarize it, because it was so much, it's like every week there was another traumatic experience. And so what I talk about is how when I look back now, and I had my awakening in 2014, my son went through some miraculous stuff in 2014 because I started practicing law of attraction and believing in energy and believing in the power of our words. And I shifted everything in the way that I was treating illness and wellness in my family. And I got out of a marriage that was extremely toxic, and so many miracles happened in my life. It was a very difficult time. It was a very difficult situation to go through, but the reason I tell you is because I want you to know, hey, Mary Kingley again, I want you to understand more about, hey, Tanya, about where I came from, so you can know that when you've gone through things, thanks Angela, so when you've gone through things, hey Toby, you can then use that history, not as something to keep retelling and to staying in, to being in the muck and grime, and I call it quicksand. Like when you are discussing old trauma over and over and over again, it can be emotional quicksand, and I don't want you to get sucked down into it. Thank you, Christopher, for reading the blog. Thank you. I want you to know that you can stay on solid ground, especially when you're around your family, okay? So when we get off, you guys, I'll promise that, hey Jeff, that you're going to read my blog. And then secondly, the only other thing I'm going to ask you guys is that if you are here and you haven't followed me and liked my page, please like this page on Facebook, and I'm trying to get a big book contract in January, so every single one of you make a difference. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my page. I'm trying to put new content up. I'm about to hire somebody new, hey Steve, to help me with that so I can get it out in real time. There's like so much to do when you do this work that sometimes I don't get to it, but if you're on these places, please like me, please, it makes a big difference. So I want to talk to you about boundaries with family. All right. There's some big things around family stuff. So you have old dynamics of fighting, things when like especially siblings or mothers or dads like get in there and they'll say like the same thing to you, or they know how to drop those little guilt bombs on you, right? Or they know how to like say things that get you, like a lot of times, God, I hear so many things from clients. You guys know I've been doing therapy now, hey Met, for almost 20 years, and it's like I hear the same recurring themes from clients that like I've had in my own life, you guys have had. Yes, we all go through our own unique experience, because each one of us with the family, we all have our own experience. Bowen Family Dynamics theory talks about how we each have our own unique family experiences, right? So each one of your siblings is going to experience your parents in specific ways. So when I wrote the book, The Fatherless Daughter Project, that was a big point that we pointed out. If you've had someone pass away, specifically a parent, hey Melissa, or if there's been divorce, then you don't forget that each person, I know this is hard because we just assume that everyone knows and has experienced things the way that we have. Each single member of your family is experiencing things out of their own script, out of their own history, out of their, the way that they believe that they were treated by mom or by dad, their own belief system about themselves, their own trauma history, their own level of self-confidence, their own spiritual connectedness or disconnectedness, all right? So don't forget that when you walk into a room, everybody's coming into that room, as you will if you're doing it for Thanksgiving, or maybe you're doing it for Hanukkah or Christmas. But even when you just walk into a room and have coffee with a friend, they're bringing with them, hey Brittany, their own history, right? And so they're bringing in their fears, they're bringing in their interactions with you, their belief systems, right? You each are showing up. Hey Sam, oh, you must be on a different side of the country. She said good morning. Brittany, thank you. Brittany says I'm a hot mom. Thank you. Thank you, girl. I tried. I'm on here now. I said this on my Instagram live. So yes, I do feel like I look nice right now, but it's only because I just had a huge photo shoot and I put like 10 times more makeup on than I usually wear. And Kyra, my assistant's here working on some stuff, and I was like, girl, I'm either going to go out, which I didn't feel like doing, or I'm going to do a live because I'm not wasting this. Girls, you know what I'm talking about. I know, Suzanne, I know you're on here. I know you're laughing. Hey, Allie, I was like, I have full makeup on. I got to go do a live. And I haven't been on. So this is about, Sam, setting boundaries with your family. And I'm sorry, for this moment, it's about me having makeup on after doing a photo shoot. So up until 4 o'clock today, I literally had pajamas on. I was hustling all morning, trying to take care of my kids and fix them lunch. And they had friends over and fix them. Hey, Rachel, fix all this food. And hey, Jonathan. Anyway, I literally was like, had my hair on fire today. And so when I finally got dressed and came home, I was like, I got to go on live. So point being, we're going to now talk about, we're done with talking about my makeup. We're going to talk about boundaries with family. And this is such a huge thing. Okay. And there's one of the main things that I want to address with you. Okay. There are two things. One is on engagement and one is on guilt. Okay. Which I think are the two. Brittany says she wishes she had family for the holidays. Girl, I know I'm not going to have my kids. And it's, you know, I actually am putting up in my Instagram feed, and it'll go on Facebook this week, 10 things to help you with that when you don't have family with you, how to kind of protect yourself. And I know that that can spike loneliness, but I want you to make a plan. I want you to ask for support for somebody. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie, your mom died on Christmas last year. Okay, you specifically really need to ask people around you for support leading up to, I'm sorry, your 1-year mark and having Thanksgiving, because this would have been the last Thanksgiving you had her around. Each one of those milestones, as you know, I wrote a book called The Fatherless Daughter Project, but it applies to moms too. Like those milestones, the first year you go through, it's hard. And so please ask, please. Girl, I'll be your home. You're so funny. Girl, I'm here to support you, and I want you to ask people that love you to support you, and ask people to call you that day. Make sure you have something set up to already do, and please, I love the support you guys are giving each other on here. That's amazing. It's super important. So those of you that are being triggered with having no family, like it is really important that you ask the people that have stepped in as your family, like your friends. Like my girlfriends are more my family than actually my family oftentimes. Like that's just how we are. So when I need support, I will ask them. Sometimes I'll just be like, girl, like I need, oh, that's sweet. I need y'all just to like give me some time. I need like 30 minutes just to, I'm sorry, do you have like 30 minutes or 10 minutes that I can just like cry? Like I really, or you know what I'll do sometimes? I'll just tell my friend, can I just send you a video? And I'll sit down when I'm in a really sad space, and I'll just record a video where I'm like boo-hooing and crying, and I just say everything that I need to say. And I just get it out. And you know what? I always feel better. I'm sorry, I didn't turn my phone on silent. I always feel better after, sometimes I don't even send the video. Yes, family isn't always blood. It's those you have around. I mean, totally. I actually just realized, and I'm sorry for any family that's watching right now, but I bought all these Thanksgiving Day cards. Oh gosh, I forgot to mail them today. Today was so back to back. Anyway, I had my kids sign them all downstairs, and I sent one to each of my parents, and then I bought 3 for my best girlfriends who we call family. And then I looked down and I realized I didn't actually buy it for their real aunts and uncles, who I of course love, but we just typically don't exchange Thanksgiving cards. But I sat back and I was like, isn't that interesting? Like I bought the Thanksgiving Day cards for my family that are my friends, and we call them aunt and uncle. I don't have any sisters, so my best girlfriends, my kids call them aunt. My Aunt Stacy, there's an Aunt Stacy and Aunt Shanna, and who else did I buy it for? Oh, Aunt Stacy, Aunt Shanna, Aunt Becky, and you know they call them their aunts, and I love it. Okay, so I digress, but it's very important. Those of you that have lost parents, lost family, they're going to be by yourself. Please reach out to your friends that love you and ask if you can spend the holiday with them. If you want to be alone, just ask that they check in. People want to, oh, hey Pam, I have some family on here. People want to support you. If they love you, they're going to want to check in with you, okay? And I just want you to plan something special for yourself that day that is going to be productive, that's going to make you, actually, what I do when I have to be alone, after I cry, if I need to cry, I will pull myself out of it and I'll say to myself, what is something I can do today that will make me really glad that I had this day alone? So then I look back when it's like 10 o'clock and everyone else in the world's doing dishes and putting up with family. Girl, here's your friend, Brittany. Hey, Shelly. I will say, I'm so glad this, like, maybe it's making a vision board. So, like, let me show you. I made a vision board. So look, this right here, I made a vision board. You can cut out things that you really want in your life and put it on a board. Like, here's all the things that I really want in my life. And my daughter and I did this, but on my own. I did it in a few days on my own. And you know what? That's an example of something you can do on your own. Get a project done. Just do something that at the end of the day, you're going to be like, I'm so glad that I had this day alone, because I wouldn't have otherwise gotten that done, or realize that, or journal. Start the book you want to write, or start writing your story. Write a letter to a friend. I mean, there's so many things you can do. All right. So let's go back to talking about boundaries. So I want to talk about engagement and guilt. Okay, the two things. Around engagement, if you have any narcissistic tendencies in your family, I was raised with a narcissistic dad, and we're estranged now. He was my stepdad, but if I was around him now, I would refuse to engage with him. Like, I wouldn't. Hey, Ray, I want you to know that anyone that is toxic to you, whether they're narcissistic or just toxic, maybe someone's coming that just literally every time they get under your skin, please adopt this rule in your head. Refuse to engage, all right? 3 words, refuse to engage. That will solve so much for you. Whether it's like, maybe it's like the texting beforehand. Like, one of my clients the other day was like, oh my God, this texting before Thanksgiving is getting like, oh my God, people are like, like poking each other, just trying to like stir the pot, and refuse to engage, and just do it politely. If somebody's trying to engage with you, you can just say, just respond in a text, okay, that's it. Or I'm sorry, I can't. Or just a very simple response that disengages you. Don't get into the engagement in the text, because number one, when you do, whether it's through conversation in person or in a text, when you engage with someone that has a toxic pattern with you, that makes you leave feeling depleted and less of a light than you were before you engage with them, you're giving your energy to them, okay? And when you do that, guess what? They win. And not that I want anyone to win or lose, but I want you to win. Like, I want, even though you know that your opinion is correct, because of course it is, and because you're one of my precious souls, your opinion is always correct. You're not going to be able to convince most of the people that their opinion is wrong, or that it's not correct, and that it's not in alignment with what you see to be true. Because again, you're coming into it with your own belief system, your own history. So sit in the knowledge that your belief system is right for you, and the way that you feel about this situation, whether it's how to cook a turkey, how to be with kids, how to just engage in that day, or how to, whatever it is that y'all fight about. If you can refuse to engage, here's another word, here's another response that will help every time. Just say, God, I'm so sorry you feel that way about that. And just turn around. That's a loving thing to say, and walk away. Did you hear me? I'm so sorry you feel that way. And just turn around and walk away. You're not, Shelly says, where your thoughts go, your energy follows. This is a fantastic subject for the holidays. Yes, girl. Luckily, I am at really good terms now with all my family. The ones that I'm not, I'm just not around. And so I'm going off of what my clients have been telling me, but I do know there are certain people, the dad of my kids, like if I engaged with him every time he started poking me, and sometimes I'll poke him. I mean, you have these patterns with people, right? Like, when I say poke, I mean like stir the pot, like try to instigate a little like rub at something that you know they did wrong, that you can like get him over. We've done so much better lately, because neither one of us is really like getting into that with each other, and it's so much healthier, because when you build that energy up and you're engaging in argument, hear me, you're not going to change the other person's mind, all right? If it's an adult, they already believe what they believe. Don't get into 2 things. Also, don't get into a discussion about politics or religion. Just don't do it. Literally, my family, we all have very different political views. I'm extremely liberal. I'm Democratic. I mean, whatever. I think it's great if you're Republican and you're conservative. I mean, it's you have your belief system because of where you're from and what you believe to be true, and it's all beautiful. It's all right. Everyone is right, all right? But I don't want to engage in a political discussion or religious discussion unless I know everyone there is open and we just want to explore a topic because it makes us feel good. So explore topics that make you feel good. But if you know a topic is going to make you feel bad, religion and politics, Don't engage. I literally will say at the table, okay, we're not getting into this right now. Like I will get up. I'm like, I'm not talking about this because we're going to disagree, and I don't want to challenge anyone. We all have our belief system. So here's the deal. There's respect when you can just say we all have our belief system, because I'm not here to convince you of something different. You're not here to convince me. So if those topics come up, or whatever the hard topic is, maybe it's about your mom who passed away and who got more in the will, or whatever it is. Hey, Michelle from Florida. Refuse to engage in a topic that you know is a rabbit hole topic, okay? Be the better person, be the bigger person. I want you, since you're here with me right now and you follow me, you have a light that shines brightly, okay? If you connect with me, and if we're here because we get each other, you, like me, like to have a brighter light. You like to be in a more positive space. You like to shine with more, you like to transcend stress. You like to transcend low vibrational energy, okay? Which is around fighting and anger and shame and guilt and all of that stuff, mistrust. You trust yourself, and oh my God, literally like 25 million topics just exploded in my head. I literally just had like 500 words. That's so interesting. I've never seen that before, like on a blackboard, all these words like trust, autonomy, intuition, blah, 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 like so much just popped up. I love when my spirit team gives me guidance, gives me wisdom, because like right now my ears are ringing really loudly. It means my spirit team's around me, and I asked for them to help me, positive vibes, Deanne, yes, to help me whenever I'm talking to you guys. And if you're here and you're with me, you want the positive vibes, you want the high vibration. So high vibration is peace and love and harmony. And I know those words have been overused, but they're not, they're under-experienced. So let's make a point that we walk into any gathering this week knowing that we really want to be the reason that there's harmony. And when you walk in with those vibes, and here's, the other thing, oh gosh, I want to get to guilt. Expectation. Okay, this is the one I'm going to put here in the middle. If you can find a place in your heart, in your soul, to set up in your mind a set of different expectations, if you can stop yourself, this is so big. This is coming through for so many of you. Okay, you guys, this is coming through for you. Hey, Joan. Before you go, okay, this is so big. I want to challenge you to not say, oh gosh, she's going to show up or he's going to show up and they're going to blah, 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 blah. Oh, I know they're going to be this way. Stop yourself from predicting a negative experience with a loved one or a non-loved one, whoever is going to show up. If you can stop yourself from already sending that expectation and that energy out to the room that you're going to be entering, you're actually vibrationally, spiritually, whatever word you want to use, energetically setting out a new, you're undoing the negative expectation from them. And I can promise you that when we start expecting different things from people, they will show up in response to our vibe, our vibration, our energy, our expectation of them. So that is huge, you guys, and I need to work on this too. As you go into tomorrow, the next day, something in you, and even if you're watching this and it's not Thanksgiving and you're just living your life, like this is huge every day. If you can stop yourself from saying, God, I know she's going to do that, and then this is going to happen, and then they're going to get mad, like stop yourself and just say, oh my gosh, this is so interesting that I predict these negative outcomes so much because of old family dynamics. I just realized this is a bit crooked. If you can start predicting, like, you know what, things are going to be different this year. I want to be part of the reason why things are different this year. And just stop yourself and breathe into that. I want to be part of the reason why things go differently this year. And just go into it expecting people to show up as their best person. Michelle, you're bad about that with your father's wife. Oh girl, that's a whole one, yeah. In-laws and step parents. Shelly says it's perfect timing for me before you head to the family gathering. Girl, yeah. I will say that's, I was going to say something negative, but I'll say it because it's funny. Those of you that are divorced are going to know one of the silver linings of divorce is you don't have to deal with your in-laws again. I've had, some doozy of experiences, although I've also had in-laws that I've brothers and sisters that I have loved. I've always had a really challenging time with mother-in-laws. I've had two, and oh my God. So those of you that are going into those kinds of situations, whether it's step parents, mothers-in-laws, whatever it is, like, girl, like, I'm going to hold your face. I feel your pain. I remember those days. I am so happy I don't have to do it anymore because I never could get anything right. Like, I'm holding your face. I know what it's like to never get anything right. Thanks, Colleen. Listen, it's not about you. If anyone, this is like so much information is coming through for you. Look, I'm holding your face. I want to hug you. I'm sorry. It is about them, okay? If anyone's bringing hatred, malice, guilt, unforgiveness, any of that into that gathering, that is about them. So that's the other part of disengagement that I want you to remember. Take a deep breath, ground yourself into your own well-being, ground yourself into Mother Earth, earth, picture just starlight coming down to you from God, and just say to yourself, like, this is not about me. This is about them. And you know what? Hurt people, all right? Yeah, Michelle, I know therapy, right? I know years of it. And in-laws and step-parents can trigger all that stuff. Oh, I mean, okay. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this not too long. And then once we get into all this, like, I know it's explosive. It's so much. If you can take the stance that it's not about you, and you can remove yourself from the 4 agreements, I think the 3rd agreement is just don't take things personally, and also don't make assumptions. If you can stop making assumptions about what that person means and not take it personally, and literally walk out of the room and don't go and talk about it and relive it 500 times, go and say it once to your spouse if you need to. Just get it off your chest and just say, I'm gonna get this freaking thing off my chest. I can't believe she just said this. But you know what? Now I'm going to let it go. And literally, I picture Mother Earth when I'm praying about this stuff. I picture Mother Earth just absorbing it, or I ask God to take it. And so just, you can do this too. Just say, you know what, God, or angels, or universe, or whoever you pray to, Jesus, I give it up to you. Like, I'm handing this to you. When I walk back in that room, please give me guidance. Take your deep breaths. Tell your body to calm. And remind yourself, this is not about me. And then say to yourself, this is a beautiful piece of compassion I want you to remember. Hurt people are the ones that hurt people, all right? Our in-laws and our mother-in-laws and our stepmoms that come in and they say things that just like, you know, that you know what they mean when they say it, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're not saying it exactly directly, but they're saying it, like, you know what they're saying when they do that thing. Stop and remind yourself, hurt people are the ones that hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. Something has happened to her that she must need to hurt me, and this has nothing to do with me, and I'm not going to take it on. So I tell my clients, you're Teflon. So you're going to be the Teflon pan this Thanksgiving. Do not be the Velcro pan. Do not be the Velcro plate that like lets everything stick to you. Because you know what, when you do that, you're giving away your energy, you're giving away your happiness and your harmony and your now, right? Don't let them take your now. Stay in your now. Disengage and go to a corner that you love. Thank you, Jeff. Go sit with someone that you really, really experience as someone that you love, or just go sit in front of the TV, like whatever it is to disengage. The more you engage and get back into the pattern, the more it's going to repeat. The best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, all right? So we know that, so we're not going to engage, but before we go in the room, I want you guys the night before in the morning as you're driving over there, sit in your car, think about some things that you like about the person, and tell yourself you're not going to expect them to show up as the way they've shown up, and however they act, it's not about you. Okay, the last thing I want to talk to you about is guilt, because this has been a big one for me. If my mom watches this, she will love me through this. Mom, I love you. We're getting so much better about this. But my mom was always really bad about guilting me. And even now, I was kind of raised with that being just like the screw that I always tried to turn, things to make them happen. And I know that my mom had no idea that she was doing that. And now she knows, like when it comes up, and Mom, I'm sorry. My mom is amazing. She's my best friend, but you know how it is with our moms. I just felt really guilty for saying that about my mom. Like all that guilt, literally, I just dropped to a really low vibration feeling like that guilt. Mom, I'm sorry. But you know how it is. Anyway, point being, live taping. This is what happens in my head. I don't do guilt anymore, all right? So when someone is coming at me, specifically a family member or a friend, I literally will say to them, other day a friend did this, and I just said, don't do that to me. Like, I'm not doing that. Don't do that. I don't work on guilt. Like, I'm not going to show up just because you made me feel guilty. I'm not going to make the turkey or we'll bring whatever because you make me feel guilty. If we all want to have a loving, wonderful experience with this, and it can be out of love, like I'll do it for that. But you know what? If someone is trying to, oh good, Michelle, I'm glad you're healing with your mom. There's so much healing that can happen. My mom and I ended up going through like a ton of therapy and a ton of just talking that shit out, and we are in such a better place. But I don't go back and relive all the painful memories anymore. I don't want to sit and cry at my holidays, and I sure as heck don't do guilt. So the minute something is said that's trying to guilt me into whatever it is, or just anyway, something from the past. So literally, I just don't do guilt anymore. Like I will literally say that in the room. I'll just say I don't know what y'all are trying to do, but I mean, I love you. I just don't do guilt anymore. I literally left it in 2018. Or actually, I left it in 2017. I probably left it in 2016. I haven't done guilt, even though I have moments like you just saw where I just don't do it anymore. All right, so we're going to disengage when the situation is unhealthy. We're going to walk into a room beforehand. We're going to not predict negative outcomes, okay? Because your words and your energy going ahead of you are very powerful. They will attract back to you exactly what you ask for. And if you ask for it to be the same, and if you ask for the person to be the same, Alvin. Yeah, you guys, the healing can come with family members. when you decide that you're going to let go of certain things and that you can get the I sorry you've never gotten from that person because they're unable to, and you can just accept it from their higher self and from just a place of that supersedes the moments where you feel so much resentment towards them for whatever reason. Like, believe me, you guys, I totally know. Like, and even now I'm like checking myself about certain family that I'm going to probably be seeing over Christmas, that like I have a lot of old pain, you know, and before I walk in the room, I have to sit down and say to myself, you know what, there's a lot that I don't know. I can't make assumptions about them, and it's not about me, because I know how freaking amazing I am. You guys are just as amazing. I know how lovable I am. I know how much I should be treated with love. I know how much I want to be loved, and I'm not going to let whatever's happening here be a reflection of my own self-esteem, be a reflection of how much I'm loved, or to invite me to engage into a dynamic that is not healthy, okay? So I want you guys to refuse in engaging in those unhealthy dynamics. Here's what I want you to do. Here's the plus, the power spot. I want you guys to be mindful, to be in your now. I just talked about this on my Instagram story, my live feed I just did, which is about mindfulness. And I want you guys to taste every bit of food that you're tasting. Ask that time just expands, and be present when you're having a good moment, when your child comes up, or your child walks in the door from college, or comes in with your grandbaby, or you're watching a new life in the room, a new baby, or one of the dogs comes up and puts their head in your lap. Just remind yourself to be in your now. Like, I picture it as like a dropping in, like something dropping into a cup into the bottom. So when you're like worrying about whether the turkey gets done, or what time you're going to leave, or are you going to get to watch the football game, or whatever it is that you worry ahead about, stop yourself and decide, I'm going to be in the here right now. Enjoy the taste of the wine, or the sweet tea, or the coffee, or the pumpkin spice, or enjoy the taste of the turkey. Pretend like you've never had that food in your life, and just stop. I've been doing this all week. I've been practicing mindfulness, mindful eating all week. And that means that when you stop, don't eat through it. Like, don't talk through it and smash it all in your mouth. We do that. I do it. Stop, take a deep breath, and decide that you're going to feel it in your mouth, and you're going to appreciate where it came from. You're going to appreciate the hands that prepared it, that are there, that say a prayer of gratitude to the plant, to the animal, to the farmer, wherever it came from. And you guys, it changes everything if you guys could just slow down and be in the moment with your food, with your family, not engaging in negative dynamics, but being in positive ones. You know, start a positive conversation. I mean, you could even go around the room and be like, this is something that I love. Name something, name your favorite memory of us when we were growing up. What's your favorite, turn the conversation into something that is positive, reframe it away from politics and religion or anything anyone fights on. You start something that's like, if you could eat any meal for the rest of your life, like my kids and I, every time we eat together, they say, Mom, let's do the questions. And so I'll just start with some question like, all right, and there are games, like there are so many like little tabletop games you can find at Target that have like, conversation starters. Just say like, if you had to eat any meal for the rest of your life, what meal would it be? If you had any food for breakfast the rest of your life, if you had to watch some movie every day for the rest of your life, what movie? And then always ask why. They have to answer the question, and they have to say why. Like, those kinds of things are so fun to do to get everyone refocused in a new direction. So why don't you take it up to you to bring the positive vibes into the room. Remember to bless your food with whatever belief system you have. I always ask for the energy of the angels to bless the food so that it blesses us. And you guys, just be blessed, be in your moment, don't engage in the negative, walk in with a new set of expectations, and know how much you are loved by me. I love the engagement I saw on this feed. If you just now jumped in, go back and watch it. It was actually really beautiful. I hope that the conversation stays up. And read the blog that I wrote. If you haven't yet, go down on my Facebook page and just click on my blog on gratitude. It's about my experiences between 2010 and 2014 when I went through the dark night of the soul, and why I'm so grateful now, because I learned so much about my own resilience, and you guys will totally relate to it. Deanne, yes, positive, positive, positive. And remember, the energy that you put out in the world is going to be exactly what you're drawing back to you. And you're not responsible for anybody else's actions but your own, and their actions have nothing to do with you. It is all about them. So be Teflon and let it go. Okay, you guys? Thanks for being here on this feed. Remember, when you're leading with your heart and your own intuition. Oh, Dre, that's so sweet. I love that. You accept her the way she is. What a beautiful thing to end on. Yeah, just accept someone for the way they are. I mean, I know it sounds simple, but Like, I've let go of so many things the older I get, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let those things annoy me. Like, I'm gonna totally accept her for who she is, because one day she's not gonna be around, and I'm gonna miss all these things that may seem annoying right now. You know, who knows how long they'll be here on this earth. So appreciate the moments that you're in, you guys. Be mindful, be totally present, and let your intuition, let your inner voice lead the way, because when you're following your heart and the compassion that can lead you through life, through Thanksgiving, through the next week, like, you're always going the right direction. All right, you guys, bye-bye, be well.